Hi, this is Dan at Laser Toys, and just wanted to show off the new Fenix that we got in and give you a build on how to make it up. They have actually put in EPP hinges in the back, also put in push rods, so it's going to save you a lot of time on the build. Same with the elevator, got a nice EPP hinge, control horn's already in there. So we're gonna build this up and show you how to put it all together. First thing you want to do, since it takes a little time to cure, we're going to put carbon fiber in the wing. So what you want to do is we use some of this 1x6 flat carbon fiber rod. We're going to place a piece in the length of the wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off, and I use a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel, and I just mark it with my thumb. Put a little cut there, and we should be right at the length of the wing. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to make a slot for it, and what I usually do is I put it about 2 inches in, and guesstimation is just fine. Just make sure it's even on both ends. Hold your yardstick down and make a slot about 3/8 of an inch deep. Not that deep, but deep enough that we can get this carbon fiber rod in. So we take the carbon fiber rod, we spread the wing a little bit and start it in, and you'll notice it goes right in there all the way down. Just give it a little wiggle, and boom, we're in all the way down through there. Okay, now once it's in there, make sure it's level all the way across. Okay, to glue that in, I use the thin M5T CA from Mercury Adhesives. And what I do, I actually just, you notice I'm putting it on pretty heavy. And this is the thin stuff, so it is going to go in there and soak right into the EPP. Okay, so we put the carbon fiber in the top of the wing here, and we put our M5T CA in there, and we're going to let that dry for quite a while. The reason we put it in the top of the wing is so that you can lay the wing flat on your workbench and make sure that it stays flat. So I'm going to lay this off to the side on a flat part of our workbench. We're going to let the wing dry off to the side, and you remember our elevator that already has a control horn on it. This is up, so make sure when you mount that, that's up. This is our fuselage, and you can see there's a nice little push rods that are already in there, so they work really good, and it should be pretty cool. They give you a rubber band, and I haven't really found how to use the rubber band, so you're going to just remove the rubber band and toss that off to the side. So what we're going to do next, we are going to mount the elevator. So you mount this on the back, and what you want to make sure you don't do is put that on with the control horn sticking up and it'd be upside down. So we're going to flip that over, make sure we put that on the right way. Okay, now the way that I center this is you can kind of see your crease in the back where the hinge is. Okay, so we want to center it from side to side, and we also want to get our angle about right. This is just a cheap little square you can get at the art store, and I know from experience this should be about 6 7/8 inches on each side, but you want to double check that and do the same thing over here, and yeah, we're about 6 7/8, so we're good. Now we want to make sure it's square. Now don't forget, you got a little bit of an angle on your fuselage, so it's not going to be perfectly square, but you want to get it even on both sides. Okay, now when I did that, you can see the nice little slot there. I actually slid it in at an angle. So I'll show you from the side what that looks like. So your landing gear is angling forward. Okay, and the way we put this in, you want to fill this slot with hot glue. I mean, just pump it full. Get your nose down in there and pump it full of hot glue. And you'll notice, even though I pumped that full of hot glue, when I put this in, it'll actually put it in a little bit further than what you think. And then there's a little bit of a gap in there. Now what I do, I fill this in about 3/8 of an inch in front and 3/8 of an inch in back. Alright, and then I fill that in real nice. Okay, now along the side, do about 3/8 of an inch up on each side, and this will make a very strong set of landing gear. I mean, you can still knock them loose, but boy, it's going to take quite a bit to knock them loose. And I'll make it kind of look nice and square it off. Okay, so that's in there good. Let that cool, and kind of you can set it down and make sure you're sitting pretty level, and then just let it cool. And that'll look pretty nice when you're all set. Alright, next thing we're going to do, we're going to put the mount on here. What you want to do is center it on there, and put a screw in. As you can see, I already put a screw in. And what we'll do, we'll add the rest of our screws. We got one of these nice little drivers from Lowe's or something, I believe. They do a really nice job. And these are the Laser Toys 2mm screws for mounts that we sell, in case you need extra ones. You should get 4 of them in your kit, so it'll make it easy to put your motor on. Alright, so we're going to set this thing on here. Okay, that looks pretty square. It's on there pretty good. Our landing gear has dried, so everything's pretty beefy. This thing's looking pretty good. We're going to place, we've got the mount screwed on, we're going to place the motor in. And I'm going to tighten up the set screw.
What size Allen?
1.5 millimeter Allen. And give it a pretty good crank there. Then flip it over, tighten the other side. And then while you're there, check the one on the motor for the shaft. You can see that we've cut off the shaft on this motor. I used the Dremel tool again. Cut it off so it makes it easier when our prop's on there for the prop saver to work properly. You also want to inspect your leads, make sure they can't short out. Make sure there's enough insulation, and these look pretty good. Then we've got our 20 amp speed controller, and I always attach it with the heat sink coming to the outside. Now these motors only draw about 15 amps, so it's a little bit of overkill. You can glue this on the side, or you can Velcro it. I prefer gluing it on the side because it seems to stay on there a little bit better. Velcro, sometimes they'll pop off. So I just do a little square there, stick it on. I kind of tighten up my wires a little bit so they look pretty good. Then I place it on there, make sure that it can reach my battery and everything. And then once it's on there where I want it, I put a little bead of hot glue on the top and a little bead on the bottom, just to ensure that it stays on there. So we've got all that mounted. Okay, we're ready to go. Alright, so that install looks pretty good. Now we'll check the rotation on the motor. So we're going to use a servo tester, and we're going to plug this in and make sure plug it in with the correct orientation. Then you can use your battery, and don't put the prop on yet until you're sure things look good. Now it's rotating in that direction. If you look at our prop, that means we're rotating in the right direction. Now, if it rotates in the wrong direction, all you have to do is switch any of the 2-3 leads, and your motor will reverse direction.